Welcome to the video. My name is Reed Sassenberg and I'm the founder of Married Ambition. And what I do is I help guys who are on the edge of divorce and I take them from that position. And within 90 days, my goal with every single client I work with within 90 days is to get their wives or partners to say, I'm willing to work on things again. Now, I've had a lot of success over the years, and this video is really on when you receive that gut punch, when you receive that slap from your wife. She says she wants separation, she wants space, or she wants divorce. If your wife has said that to you, okay, this video series, this is part 6. The previous 5 videos, and there's going to be a lot more coming. Make sure you watch these whole series because this is going to really outline the exact steps that you need to be focusing on, everything you need to be doing to lay that initial groundwork of putting yourself in the position to save the marriage down the line or save the relationship down the line. So this video today is on how I help men prevent divorce, part 6, rebuilding emotional safety. So today we're talking about emotional safety. And the foundation of every single healthy relationship, especially a long-term relationship, and one of the first things that's lost during a marriage crisis is emotional safety. And most men think the problem is attraction or communication or intimacy. But underneath all of these problems is usually one deep issue. Okay, and that issue generally is that your wife no longer emotionally relaxes around you. She cannot be herself emotionally. Every time she bees herself, she acts on her emotionality. Every time she has an opinion, every time she doesn't agree with you, every time she criticizes you, every time she acts from her emotion, she gets emotionally punished by you. What that means is that if that's the dynamic in the relationship, that means you've destroyed safety. And what that means is that she will move back, she will retreat, she will withdraw, she will become cold, distant, and checked out. And she cannot connect with you on the emotional level because every time she attempts to, even through criticism, okay, because that's an opportunity to grow safety, even through conflict, even through her ups and downs and her roller coaster of emotion, okay, even through all those processes, okay, she learns she cannot connect with you, so she withdraws. Now, to get even clear on this, okay, to give you this definition so you understand what this finally means. Emotional safety for a woman in a relationship is the consistent feeling that she can be completely honest with you. She can be completely vulnerable. She can be emotional. And she can be herself without the fear of being dismissed, attacked, controlled, punished, or emotionally abandoned. So over time, the current relationship you're in, if she said I want space, if she said I want separation, if she said I want divorce, over time, the relationship you've had with your wife or partner has become emotionally unpredictable for her, which comes from your frame, from you, your nervous system, your responses, your behavior. And the way this is coming up is through conflict in day-to-day interactions, okay? Defensiveness, emotional shutdown, tension, criticism, reactivity, pressure. Eventually her nervous system stops feeling safe. Every time she's around you, she tenses up because she knows there's always a problem, there's always an issue, there's always some emotional disconnect there. Now, emotional safety, this is where a lot of guys get wrong, is that it's not about comfort. Okay, it's a part of it, but it's not all about comfort. It's not about being a doormat and just agreeing with your wife or not giving your opinion or not being assertive about things. It's actually that creates safety, being assertive and clear on who you are as a man and conforming to that and aligning to your boundaries and your non-negotiables and your standards. Okay, that creates safety, but what is important is emotional predictability. That's what builds safety. She knows how you are going to be in a positive sense, in a leadership sense, in a safety building sense. once you can reestablish that emotional safety from that position, everything can change. Okay, at the moment, she is extremely certain that you cannot be emotionally predictable. Sometimes you're okay, sometimes you're easy to talk to, then sometimes you're destroying the safety the next day. So you've got to understand that you to save the relationship, to reconcile with your wife, you must build emotional safety back into the relationship. Now, why does this matter? When emotional safety disappears, okay, emotional connection will slowly disappear with it. So the process to saving your relationship, it all starts with emotional safety, the environment you create. Okay. From that environment, she starts trusting you. She trusts your predictability in regards to the emotional safety. Then she starts being open more. Okay. From that openness, you start getting connection with your wife more. From that connection comes the attraction. And then we move to reconciliation, where she says, I feel different around you. I feel connected. I feel seen. I feel heard. I feel understood. And you're predictable in your emotionality because you don't operate from your emotionality. You operate from your standards. Big difference. That's the key. So once you establish that emotional safety, it's a cascade, a triggering response that leads towards reconciliation. Okay? Now, a woman cannot stay emotionally open when she constantly feels tension, pressure, defensiveness, instability, or emotional unpredictability around her partner or husband. And most guys make the mistake of trying to save their marriages by trying to rebuild the attraction before rebuilding the safety. Attraction will struggle to grow. Okay, it can be there, but it's going to be blocked by the lack of emotional safety in a long-term relationship, because she knows you inside out. She knows who you are at your core. And that's the reason why, you've been operating from these faulty mental models, from these insecurities. You operate from those, and she knows that. Okay, and that signals to her that you're unsafe emotionally. So she can't rely on you. And that kills and murders the respect, attraction, and admiration. So your wife needs to experience that she can emotionally breathe around you again. Currently, she feels suffocated because there is no emotional safety. Like if a woman can't verbalize herself and communicate with you and process her emotions with you, the relationship will end. Women are emotional, and they process their emotions through communication, through verbal language. Very different to men. Okay, there's huge communication disparities between men and women, and that's a big part of the program that I have, the Married Ambition program. It's about understanding that and taking that into your conversation so you can learn to navigate things for your best benefit and your best outcome. She needs to know that difficult conversations no longer become emotional chaos. That distance no longer creates pressure, because she has to manage the relationship. She manages the closeness or the distance. Your job is to stay firm, to stay solid, and remove control or trying to reduce her freedom. Because people whose freedom is reduced, they will rebel every single time, and they will remove themselves from that situation. My previous video was on pressure, so you have to remove pressure. Okay, your emotions can no longer dominate the relationship dynamic. They have to be removed, and you have to operate from your standards. That's what creates the safety. So safety must become present before she can reconnect with you. That's why this matters. Okay. What do you need to stop doing to start building the dynamic of emotional safety or safety in the relationship? Okay. When you've been given this gut punch, she says she wants space, separation, or divorce. You need to stop making every single emotional moment every single emotional conversation, which you shouldn't be having, when you're having these conversations, stop making it about your own pain. Stop becoming defensive when feedback appears or criticism or she's being disrespectful. Stop becoming reactive. Stop becoming defensive. You can set clear boundaries there, calmly, assertively. It's about not being defensive or not being reactive. It's about setting safety based off who you are as a man, your standards. Stop reacting emotionally every time discomfort enters the relationship. One of the most important factors to safety that she will test you on is your ability to sit in discomfort emotionally. What does he do when he's under pressure? Does he buckle? Does he emotionally collapse? Or does he stand there and he absorbs it and he's strong? Extremely attractive for a woman. Because that's a signal, and you're portraying, and your action is showing that you're emotionally predictable and you're emotionally safe to be around. So many men unknowingly make their wives emotionally responsible for stabilizing themselves. This is an inversion of polarity. That's what she needs from you. Your wife is not your therapist, and she cannot be your therapist, even if she says she can. She does not want to be your therapist, especially during a reconciliation attempt by yourself. She can't do that for you. If you don't fix this environment of emotional safety, she cannot emotionally trust you. And her nervous system, is constantly going to feel that tension. She's going to feel the pressure. She's going to feel that disconnection from you. And she's going to remove herself. Emotional safety will continue to disappear every time the interactions feel emotionally exhausting, instead of emotionally calming and uplifting and positive. So you need to be aware of that. Moving forward, every single interaction is either building safety or it's removing safety and destroying safety even further. Critical point to understand. So, in regards to those interactions that we do get with our wives, and we're facing the possibility of space, separation, or divorce, or you are separated or you are in a current position of space, how do we implement this now? You need to start becoming emotionally predictable. You need to regulate your reactions, which means regulating your emotions. You need to slow down emotionally. You need to learn to listen without defending yourself or jumping in conversation. You need to be able to sit in the discomfort of this current situation and respond calmly under stress. You need to create steadiness in your communication. Stop trying to force emotional closeness. Again, you can't force this outcome. Your job is to focus on the environment, focus on the process that's conducive to building safety, and that will bring her back into the fold, that will bring her back into the environment, and that will bring her back into a state of reconnection with you. You cannot pressure her in any way to force reconnection. It doesn't work that way. And if you're watching this video and you've attempted to do that, you would know what I'm saying. I've seen this hundreds, possibly thousands of times in the work I do, where guys make this fatal, very damaging mistake of pressuring their wives to force reconnection. Because you're missing the point. There's an underlying major issue in the relationship. Usually multiple issues in the relationship. Okay, and you just pressuring to fix things without addressing anything underneath is she understands that she's decided to remove herself from that relationship, from that environment. So there's no point in pressuring here. It's gonna push her further deeper into the hole. So the goal is to create an emotional environment where reconnection can feel safe again. The way that happens is that you get in control of yourself, your responses, your reactions, your emotionality. You regulate yourself. You got a strong routine. You're independent, and you be consistent in building that environment of safety where she can open up to you. It's about rebuilding safety through hundreds of small, calm interactions over time. The more consistent you are with your behavior, the more you can change her perception, her character bias of you, and she can begin to feel that safety again. And every single emotionally grounded interaction slowly changes how your wife experiences you. So if she said she's done, and you start showing behavior that's conducive to the man she wants, you're giving her evidence that her decision was wrong. Now, if you don't do that, and you continue to display the pressure, the urgency, the lack of understanding of the situation, that just confirms her decision to leave. So every interaction is confirming her decision to leave, or she's questioning her decision to leave based off your behavior. So the key points in the recap here: emotional safety for a woman for a long-term relationship is the foundation of connection. Most marriage problems come from emotional unpredictability from you. The woman is going to be unpredictable emotionally because they operate from that frame. This is the feminine. They are emotional. They are up and down. They're on a roller coaster themselves. Their monthly cycles, things like this. This is all the feminine. That's who they are at the core level. This is what the feminine is. So the masculine needs to be steady. He needs to be strong. He needs to be grounded in himself. This is what we call polarity, and this creates the dynamic that's required for emotional safety to exist. Women will disconnect when they no longer feel emotionally relaxed around their husband. And the way she doesn't feel relaxed around you is because you've destroyed the emotional safety through defensiveness, pressure, negative conflict, and reactivity. Emotional reactivity from yourself, which has destroyed the safety. So attraction, can be present, but it won't be acted on from her side of things unless the emotional safety is there first, especially in a long-term relationship. Emotional leadership starts with your own self-regulation, your own emotional intelligence, your own ability to regulate your emotions. Your emotions are not directives that you must act on. Your emotions are information that you choose to respond to. So the more calm, the more steady, the more reliable, the more predictable you are in interactions with your wife, that starts building the safety, which starts building the trust, which starts building her ability to be open with you, which then starts building the connection. Then we move into the attraction. Then we move into reconciliation down the line. So emotional safety is what allows emotional connection to exist. Emotional safety allows emotional connection to exist. So when you're bringing tension, defensiveness, emotional unpredictability into the relationship, and that's become the norm, that's become the normal operating procedure for you, a wife will check out. She will stop emotionally opening up. She will stop connecting with you. And then the attraction goes, the respect and the admiration goes, and the relationship will go. So rebuilding the marriage starts with you becoming emotionally grounded, calm, and predictable under pressure. Now, believe me, I understand if your wife has said she wants space, a separation or a divorce, this is hard. This is an emotional, a critical, fatal emotional injury to you. Only if you let it be. You've got to do the work here. This is where my Married Ambition program can really help you reframe this and see this as the biggest opportunity of your life to become the man you need to become. So the goal here, is not to force closeness, not to force reconciliation. The goal is I need to create an environment that my wife wants to be a part of. That's it. How do we do that? Emotional safety is the foundation. You must build emotional safety if you're going to reconcile. Now, if you're serious about saving your marriage and you're in this position of where she's requested space, or you're currently separated, or you're moving towards a divorce, and you want to turn this around, book a call with me below this video in the description on the video. Book a call there. We can have a conversation. There's no pressure. It's just a conversation to see if I can actually help you in your situation. And if I think I can help you, I talk about how, I've got a community of guys, I think currently 30 guys in the program. The Married Ambition program, which is a 5-phase program that you go through step by step to rebuild the safety, rebuild the attraction, rebuild the trust, and get her to say, I want to work on things within 90 days. If that's an option for you, book the call and let's have a discussion. Good luck.